Welcome to this Saving Life. It has been a minute. I think everything is working.
Maybe.
I hope. It says, oh yeah, looks good. Okay. Welcome to Saving Life. As I said, it has been a minute. 2 weeks ago, I asked on the Discord because it would have been the regular cadence, but typically there's only 2 Thursdays in a month. But last month it would have been 3 exactly, but we did not announce it in Portmaster, so we felt vaguely okay with it just being ditched. And then I was just like, well, if people would like to join me, I could do it on Discord. But then people said I should take and it was a holiday as well, I should take the holiday off and stuff like that. So thank you for, not caring so much, I guess.
That's a weird way to put it.
It is a weird way to put it. And I like those times. I like the Saving Life. I like with everybody being here, chiming in, letting us know what your thoughts are on like where saving is at from your perspective, us sharing where saving is at from our perspective, where Portmaster is going, and so on. I like those touch points. So even though I appreciate it a lot when people are like understanding of like us having to take time off as well, it is super cool that time just having it together, sharing perspectives. And to that end, hello to Hunter. Glad to see you. We actually have prepared no topics for today.
Well, there are a couple of things we can touch on.
Exactly.
No big topic.
Exactly.
No main topic. So.
Because last time, if you have seen it, I think 4 weeks ago, we had tunnel vision as a big topic. Back then, the news broke about like VPNs having those vulnerabilities, and we went into why we don't have that vulnerability and why VPNs, like how the exploit actually works. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, 2 things: watch the last live stream for the information, and let us know a little bit further in advance what you want us to talk about. I try to do those announcements here on YouTube like a week earlier-ish, a couple of days in advance anyway. And there's a link to the Discord down below where those questions can come in. You can also send us an email or tweet at us. So, and then we can prepare stuff in advance. But you said you had a couple of topics. Sweet.
Yeah, just kind
throw them out.
Journal update stuff.
Are you telling us about the current beta?
We're working on, things we're working on, things are in testing. So we've had a couple of releases over the last weeks.
In beta.
Almost all of them successful.
The first one not.
The first one not.
Which was a little bit unfortunate as well, wasn't it? A Thursday night? Or was it a Tuesday? Doesn't matter. I got tons of messages over that night.
So we
had it in staging.
Yeah, we're now testing the new kernel extension. So that means that Windows users will have a lot more stability in regards to the kernel extension that's the component that does the actual filtering, and it kind of sits in the kernel, so everything is there should really work perfectly. And we've had numerous reports about people having blue screens in the past. So numerous meaning kind of over the time of a half a year or a year, but still
10-ish
over a year maybe.
Yeah,
but we weren't able to figure out where it came from because it didn't seem to be our code exactly, so not sure.
We had some assumptions.
Yeah, super weird stuff.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out kind of what it was, and so what we had planned to do already was to rewrite the kernel extension in Rust. So that's what we did, and that means that we have a lot more stability there. memory safety guarantees from the compiler of Rust. That's pretty cool. So we have a lot cleaner code base there, a lot more stable, and it will be a lot easier to push out stuff that works perfectly, and also we'll now kind of be able to
Add features
faster if we need to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It is.
And
It is.
The
I can
the first
remember.
update we pushed was a bit faulty, so sorry for that. But now
We found it.
Yeah, we found the issues. Now everything seems working, and we have another small fix in the pipeline right now because some connections have delays, and
Which is not good.
which is not nice to have. So we fixed that. That's currently at Microsoft being signed by them. That's how kernel drivers work. Not enough for us to sign them. We have to upload it to them. They do some automatic checks and takes half an hour to a couple hours, and then that's done. And then we can download the driver signed by Microsoft itself.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff we can then ship.
Which it needs to be, like, as a kernel extension, it needs that.
Yeah.
Which is also partly when people are asking us, how can I compile everything myself? We're like, unless you're willing to purchase a code licensing agreement and look into how to sign the code yourself,
Yeah.
this might be more trickier than you think.
But extended code signing certificate.
Extended,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe quickly to address Hunter in the chat here. So yeah, Rust is coming to Portmaster, and I think we talked about this a couple live streams ago. Maybe you have missed that, but also our UI engine will move over to Rust. So this will take a little bit longer, but
That's a bit vague, but
it's a little bit vague. We can go into it. We talked about it in the past, and I think we will talk further when we're actually getting there. But yes, more Rust coming to Portmaster. We have all the fancy languages then. So it's not just Go, and it's not just, I don't know, frameworks like Angular and stuff like that, but it's also Rust now. So welcome, Rust people. And Hunter also said about he tried Portmaster on Fedora 40 and same great performance as on Ubuntu. Fast and furious. Thank you. Yeah, no, we are trying to have everything as fast as possible. We know that the UI sometimes is a little bit sluggish, which is why we're looking into replacing the UI engine as well. Don't want to get into too much details, Daniel, since it is further out, and we have the habit recently of talking about stuff
further out, but
we have the habit of teasing stuff being right around the corner and then not delivering as fast as we thought.
It's one thing particular, but other stuff I think we're okay at.
It is. And we have a huge case of while we're at it currently. So yeah, but the focus, as we kept on saying for the last months, is stabilizing stuff. And so while we're at it, fixing things and not adding things is actually not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Fedora 40, Hunter, I agree. I'm on Fedora 40 on a couple of my machines as well. Tried to switch my gaming machine this week. Did not work out as well. I have issues with NVIDIA. Well, that's life for me switching to Linux. But we'll see. Maybe new graphics cards later this year from AMD as well. Not sure if I will buy one, but looking forward to seeing new stuff actually shipping, hopefully. Okay,
Good.
yeah.
So that's the one thing. The other thing
Kernel
is
extension.
the kernel extension that's kind of now in testing. So that's all in beta. That hasn't reached stable yet. It is the kernel extension, so we're gonna be a bit more cautious with this one. I mean, it will take a bit longer until it reaches stable, because we really want to make sure that it actually is stable before we push it there. That's one thing that's kind of now in testing, and the other thing that will go into testing very soon is the new UI engine that Raphael teased multiple times right now.
Regarding testing the kernel extension. So anybody who's watching and who is on Windows, if you're curious and a little bit adventurous, it's like switching to beta on the release channel. You just go to global settings, search for release, and then you see release channel, and you just have the drop down, switch to beta. It will download the latest beta and it will then install it, and you will
it will prompt
help
you
us
to restart
restart.
Portmaster, and then
Exactly. Still, also with this, there is no telemetry. If you have issues, again, we got a couple of messages regarding the cloning extension. We started to fix them. I think we're already in the good. It should already work.
No, it's not working. The current version is working. It just has a couple small delays here and there,
which we're currently fixing. You will get that app update automatically if you're in the release channel. That's why it's called a channel and not just a version, because it automatically updates to this release channel afterwards. Please do so and let us know what you like. It would help if you're on Discord as well, and would just right there in the beta channel, let us know. But if you're not on Discord, also cool. Just I see it everywhere. You can comment down below in this video, or send an email. Debug information probably better via mail, and send us there. But it is super great if people are on the beta and helping us, especially now.
Yeah.
And especially not on machines that you what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is that you have to deinstall Portmaster and then reinstall it.
Yeah, right. That's the easiest solution to go back to stable. In the uninstall wizard, you can
not click.
You can deselect data, so you will keep your settings and everything. So you can really just reinstall the binaries, and then.
Yeah. And we have guides on this, and if you have questions, again, Discord would be the best place to go there. But yeah. Hunter says, Linus said, enough about NVIDIA. I guess we should wait for anti-sync drivers. Okay, yeah, hopefully they'll make it. Oh, that's behind the heart icon. Make it through. Yeah, we'll see. There's actually a game that does not work for me currently, Pioneers of Pagonia, and it's working on AMD beautifully as far as I can tell, as people are saying on ProtonDB, but it's not working on NVIDIA. And that's the reason why I thought I will try to go for Fedora for my gaming machine, because then I could maybe update to a later NVIDIA driver, because people are saying on the very latest one it works, but then other stuff started crashing, and so I'm back on Pop OS, because that's just for gaming. If you're a gamer, and I know Nick from the Linux Experiment just recently did a breakdown about different gaming distros. I think if you're on NVIDIA and if you want to be on the stable side, don't want to mess around with your computer too much, go for Pop OS. I don't like how it looks. I don't like that everything takes very long to arrive there, like NVIDIA drivers.
Yeah, they're working on their new Cosmic.
Yeah, but it works. Mike says Fedora for gaming is possible on the Discord. So, Hunter, if you don't see it, Mike is on Discord, and I agree. No, I love Fedora, but with NVIDIA graphics cards, I have my issues. Especially with installing NVIDIA drivers and so on. I mean, maybe I did something wrong there. In the past, it worked for me as well. I did not want to mess around with it too much. I just quickly wanted to try. But, okay. Moving to, you wanted to talk about the UI actually, which I'm a little bit confused about. Okay, what's the progress? This is update for me now as well. I was not aware that we have progress there. I thought we pushed the sync feature.
We are, but that's me developing it, and the other stuff is done by Vladimir, so they're not competing in that sense.
Okay.
They're not. The UI update, what does that mean? So some of you may have noticed that we're using Electron as kind of a UI engine, because your UI itself is based on web technologies. So web technologies usually use websites, and a lot of applications like the beloved Microsoft Teams now uses web technologies, and Discord, yeah, it's just so many resources.
Slack.
And we dislike that, and we know others dislike that too.
Isn't Spotify also?
Probably.
Yeah, most.
Lots of them.
It's easy.
it's easy and accessible and yeah,
multi-platform.
lots of good stuff about it, but the resource usage and kind of it being slow and everything, not so cool. So we're switching Electron for something called Tauri, which is a framework built in Rust. And what it does, it actually calls the system web view. So it, instead of downloading and creating its own browser just for one window, and actually just ask the OS, hey, can you give me a browser window, a new one? And kind of the OS provides that. And we did that actually in the very beginning when we started Portmaster. But at that time,
2019,
if you asked Windows for a web view, it gave you an Internet Explorer window, which worked okay at first, but then we got problem after problem after problem.
Because at that time, Edge was already around for quite some time. But Internet Explorer was still like Frankenstein, whatever thing you take in the corner, unattended, and it started growing additional things.
Weird stuff. So that's we had to switch to Electron for things to actually work.
Also, I think like auto resizing did not work.
Lots of stuff.
It did not keep, if you change the size and if you close it and then you open it again, it was always the same.
Yeah, it was super weird stuff. Depending on like all sorts of things, but with Electron,
all that was solved.
But of course, that was a big pain we took up there. But it got it to work. That was at that point the most important thing.
And I guess at the moment when people are talking about Portmaster being like heavy on resources, they're talking about Portmaster UI.
Yeah.
They're talking about Portmaster UI just eating. It's a Chromium based, like Electron is Chromium based. So it's a running joke that Chromium just eats memory. Yeah. So, if you can, you don't need the UI for Portmaster to work. That's just like not something you do. So yeah, but that's the reason why, and that's also the reason why we're looking for Tauri, because as you said, like it doesn't download and it doesn't start a new browser, so it is built into the operating system. Exactly. It should not add workload.
So, and now that works with something called WebView 2 on Windows, which is actually an Edge window. So now, Mike J, it's called Tauri, correct? Yeah.
And it's written like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Windows itself provides a Chromium window, so we kind of get this pretty much the same stuff, but from Windows. But of course, Electron is a bit more than just Chromium. It has lots of features baked in, and we had to replace some of these features with stuff written in Rust, but that works pretty well already. So we have.
You want to say what? For instance, the icon
detection, for example. Like things like interacting with the operating system. So that's stuff that we had to kind of re-implement to some extent. But that's done.
Cool. I wasn't aware that we're done with that already.
So it's done, but the issue is like
it's not tested.
It's tested a little bit. So
internally,
and we'd like to kind of push that out, but the issue is how do we actually push that out? Because both on Linux and Windows, that WebView stuff has new dependencies that we cannot guarantee are there. So what we're trying to do is we're gonna set it up as a separate UI component, and whenever you start the UI, it will first try the new one, and if it doesn't find the dependency, it will alert you of that, and then it will, if it fails, it will fall back to the old UI. But that's something we still have to build. So it's finished, but we don't want to force it on everyone because it might just break because we don't have any experience with running that platform on.
That sounds super complicated and sounds like this whole system you're describing. That's the first time I'm hearing of this, and it sounds like something that
it's super easy. It's super easy. Start one thing. If it fails, start the new stuff. New stuff fails. Start old stuff. It's super easy.
But with like detecting what is missing and stuff like that.
No, it just checks if it fails. So that how we does all of that. We just go start, and then it goes. We go okay, shit. Start old one. So.
Okay, emergency exit, initiate.
Exactly. So we just go whoop, start the old one. So that's something we still have to build, so we can start pushing out that to beta users and see how they like it and how it works out. For the most part, you should feel a lot of difference. So it's
just in the resources.
It will be a lot less resources
to download and to run.
Yeah.
So it will be smaller. The whole installation will be smaller. Like the 300 megabytes that we say it downloads, I think it's a little bit more now. I think we're almost at 400. Really? A huge chunk of it is actually also Electron.
Yeah,
and so
50 megabytes, I think, is Electron.
Yeah, and we will change the install process and everything.
Yeah.
In accordance with it. Yeah, so I thought so as well. Like almost half, or maybe now a little bit more than that, is Electron. And this is something that we can do because of like switching over. Hunter said, I just found the article named Framework Wars and can't find a performance comparison in real time. I think that might also do, as we said, like it uses the engine provided by the operating system, and this engine might be different depending on the operating system you're on. Like when you're on Windows, it now is Edge. It used to be Internet Explorer, and it's now Edge, so that's Chromium based. And in a lot of Linux distros, it will be Firefox. So it will be not the Chromium engine, but
sure.
It will be Gecko.
It's by Kit. I think it's produced by PDK. So not sure which what's the engine behind it actually.
I think
what's the
Firefox.
engine, the name exactly?
Gecko.
Is it Gecko? Could be.
Firefox is Gecko.
Yeah.
And Safari is WebKit, and I forgot what the engine in Chromium is.
Yeah, isn't there? Yeah.
It also has another name. It's not Chromium. Vladimir is here. Welcome.
Oh, it is WebKit for Linux.
Oh,
okay, great.
See,
great.
Ask the person who knows. Maybe we should get Vladimir on the live stream sometime as well.
That's a good idea.
So that he can explain the stuff he actually knows.
So yeah, but yeah, so we're having progress there. I'm looking forward to get our beta users test that stuff. So that's kind of step 2 of all kind of the stability stuff that we're doing. So we have the kernel extension, we had we have the UI, and we're already working on a lot of stability stuff regarding the internal structure of Portmaster Core, which will then hopefully further improve stability. That's the plan, by also simplifying how things work internally. And then we'll also do some more changes there. For example, we will change the database Portmaster is using. It will also further simplify things. So very much looking forward to that too. And all of that will culminate in a version 2 release, because there will be breaking changes, especially with the database change.
So you will need to reinstall, and you can't go back.
Yeah, you will need to install, and it will kind of migrate your stuff once, and then you're stuck with the new version. But you're free to choose when to do that, and with that, it will also have the offline install and everything. I think we talked about the version 2 stuff like
a couple,
4, 6, or 8 weeks ago.
Not 4. 4 weeks ago we talked about.
So 6 or 8 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Hunter now switched over to Discord as well.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming, and we had to prioritize a lot of that stuff for various reasons. We also explained in the version 2 live stream. So that is the unfortunate truth, that for the reason that the sync feature is still a bit delayed, but we are getting to it and we're starting to look into it. and starting
We
to
started to look into it.
pick
ages
up
ago.
again. So
Exactly.
yeah. So
Exactly.
we already started some ages ago. That's how it feels. And now we're kind of picking it up again.
To finish it.
I can't say, like, especially with summer coming and kind of vacations then coming along, it's really hard to pinpoint like what.
We're sorry. We're
kind of-
actually sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry it takes so long.
Yeah.
And it's still hard to tell when we'll get there.
Yeah.
Because of all the other stuff currently happening in Portmaster.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely be working on it, and we are now able to push more and more focus in that direction. So I am looking forward to get that out.
And people are actually waiting for this, because and full export of Portmaster is like not officially supported. The sync feature actually like solves this for quite a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when you write those things to me, I know, and we're talking about this. That's the reason why I'm saying we're actually sorry. We know that people are waiting on that stuff, and it's on our mind, and we have to prioritize and focus on what is actually like more useful for more people right now, and what needs to get pushed back a little bit. And again, like stability, like blue screens are so awful, so that's partly the reason why this was so important, and why we pushed a couple of things that first. This is partly why we want to move away from Electron, because we know like the JavaScript error, I feel like I'm getting each week 2 to 3 messages, be that on Discord, be that an email, be that on GitHub, a new issue, with people are like, oh, there's a JavaScript error. And I'm like, yeah, we know. It's like, open it differently, like not from the taskbar, but from the start menu or from the icon, and then it doesn't show up. But even if it shows up, it's not like, it does not destroy anything. So, but yeah. It does not create a lot of confidence. We know. That's why we look into it. To answer Mike's thing in regarding to Edge, I think I talked about this in the past as well. I'm also reluctant to admit that I liked Edge as a browser when I looked at it, and I saw well, it's I use it for a couple of things. I have multiple browsers installed, and Edge actually it looks good. I mean, I disabled almost everything, like the Copilot thing, gone. All of the other Microsoft thingamajig, sidebar, whatever things, gone. But then you get an actually nice browser. And like on Fedora, yeah, I'm reluctant to admit this as well. Not my main browser though. So yeah. Hunter asks, Flatpak Portmaster, is it possible? With the new installation process and no automatic updates required, but everything pushed in separate releases, more possible than before.
But we still have to
evaluate, because we need elevated privileges, and I know there are now more and more Flatpaks which have elevated privileges. So using Flatpak not as a sandboxing tool, but as an distribution tool.
Manager?
Yeah. So it would be different. It is not what Flatpak is intended to do, and you could break Portmaster with stuff like Flatseal, I assume. I'm just assuming.
Definitely.
But Flatseal, for instance, an app that has elevated privileges, it ships as a Flatpak, but then can control other Flatpaks. It needs elevated privileges for this.
Yeah.
So we will probably have the triangle thingamajig telling you, ooh, careful, this is not a sandbox. And well, it is not. But yes, it would make stuff easier to distribute for us, going with Flatpak maybe as well. We'll see. I think if I could give a guesstimation, the kernel extension, the UI, and the sync feature, and then V2, and then we can start looking into it. We have not looked into it too much now.
Yeah, so
this is not a promise.
Yeah, also kind of we're going to reevaluate a lot of stuff regarding packaging. So I've already said that we're going to change how installers work. So we're going to release a new installer for every version with everything included. So
offline installer.
Installers will be offline capable by default.
Yeah.
And
it won't ship probably the latest. It cannot ship the latest
Intel
filter lists
and GUIP and stuff like that.
but it will come maybe with a
it'll
minimal
work.
set.
It'll
Yeah,
work.
it will work definitely, and maybe with a minimal set, so you can set up the first rules. But
Mm-hmm.
automatic ad blocking and tracker blocking and country detection. Again, it needs the GeoIP database for that, and it needs a couple of things. And either they're outdated, like when we built the package, and it will update afterwards immediately, or they won't be included. I think we're not sure yet.
Yeah, well, that's still the stuff we will see. Maybe there's an option in the installer where you can select download now or download later. So you can kind of set up your rules first and then go online and have it download the filter list. So we'll still need to check out. Maybe we'll package some of it, we'll figure it out. Maybe there'll be multiple types of installers. Yeah, everything is still kind of in progress there. But the first version will just be a simple installer with the binaries. And from there, we're kind of also optimizing the whole build process here. So our plan is to be able to build everything within GitHub Actions. So if we do a release, it builds almost everything automatically. As we already said before, the kernel extension can't because we have to build it, send it to Microsoft, have them analyze and sign it. They send it back to us, and we can then place it somewhere. So that will always be manual, because the signing key needs to be on a hardware key. That's a requirement for the EV certificates. We won't be able to automate that one. But everything else should build automatically in GitHub and then be released automatically. So that's really, really cool. And that will affect the Windows installers. But we're also looking into creating the Debian and RPM packages within the GitHub Actions, and then using GitHub itself as a repo.
CDN.
And CDN. So a lot of people have issues that are far away from us, far away from Europe. So not the US, because Europe and US are very well connected.
Yeah, but maybe
remote regions, like especially Eastern Asia, Australia, these regions, they get really slow download speeds for updates and the installer, and that's kind of coming out more and more now.
Yeah.
And to address this, we're going to move parts of the upload infrastructure to GitHub. So we'll use kind of the whole GitHub releases thing to distribute the binaries, and that means we're going to leverage their CDN to get that stuff to you, and
which will make stuff a lot faster.
Yeah. And so
there will be a self-hosted version as well.
Yeah.
If you don't like GitHub because it's owned by Microsoft, we will probably always have, like, I don't know if we can automate this, but there will be some version you can download from us directly. So you're not forced to use GitHub for that, but it will, like, if you're in it, like, this will always be in Europe, the self-hosted version for the foreseeable future. And it was just for us, if we're already on GitHub and if we're already doing the CI/CD, like in GitHub, it makes the most sense to have everything there for us. Mm-hmm. And if you're suffering from slow download speeds, that is the best solution that we can offer. Like the from a performance perspective, very good, very, very good solution. And CDNs will always have some privacy implications and stuff like that. So if you don't want that, then there will be another solution, but it won't be as fast probably. That's the trade-off.
So the first goal is to kind of automate the main installers, the Microsoft Windows installer, the Debian and Fedora, so Debian RPM, have them automated so we can push updates via these systems, and then you can add our repo as a repo to your system, and you'll get updates through the OS updates. So that's kind of the next step there, and when we've got that, we're gonna start exploring more packaging options. For example, Flatpak. So it's out there on the roadmap, but we're not there yet. So yeah.
And super fun. Hunter says like if you have already 99% of your apps in Flatpak, you're like you crave for that last 1 or 2% of to be Flatpak too.
Well, I'm on the other side. I have everything just installed as is, and I'm like, oh, I got this one thing in Flatpak.
No, for me, and see, that might be an issue with people on old operating systems, you know?
Old operating systems. Is that a hint?
It might be. But for me, I like, I pick the distribution channel for the, like, what I want from it. I found, for instance, browsers, which are Flatpaks, tend to not like passkeys and stuff like that. They tend to not integrate with other stuff very well. So browsers, for instance, depending on like Edge, for instance, which I want to be very sandboxed. I definitely don't want to install directly. I want to use it as a Flatpak and then lock it down with Flatseal and lock it down with Portmaster and have it as locked down as possible. My Edge can connect to 2 domains and that's it. So with stuff like that, there's a purpose, I think, for everything, and you just need to pick and choose. I understand the feeling. Like if I can just, especially if you try to distro hop, having everything in Flatpak makes so much sense and is so easy. But yeah, it can make some stuff more like difficult.
Yeah.
Cool.
So things are coming along, and we're having good progress. That's very nice. So happy to have the kernel extension in testing. UI will follow soon, and we're already working on more stability in the Portmaster core service, which will culminate in version 2 sometime this year.
Yeah, super cool. Okay, that was
1, 2, 3.
3, the installer. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well then, we're a little bit short on time. So, if you have questions, please go ahead and ask some questions. Otherwise, it might just be a shorter episode today, which is not too bad for me as well. No, all is well. Again, as I said in the beginning, I enjoy these live streams. I enjoy just being around and telling you what we see. And actually, like, as I said, I think I'm getting like 2 to 3 of those JavaScript messages per week. In regards to offline installers, I think that's every other month somebody says something to that end.
I feel it's more often though, just from a very vague feeling.
They sometimes come in bulk, and then the old people are like, oh yeah, this is still an issue. I still care about this, but it's not so many people, I feel like. But let us know. I mean, like, we're a couple of people here. You can also let us know in the comments below. If you watch this later and are like, we need offline installers. I'm like, do we though? Is this that important? I understand Flatpak better than the offline installers. And again, they both will come together. So the wait won't be forever.
Yeah. We're getting there. Yeah, step by step.
Mike says he thinks he speaks for everyone. We completely appreciate that you two share your time with all of us. Yeah, we appreciate the same. Like, you showing up to these live streams, Mike, for like only with minimal interruptions. Basically, no, we don't do it for a year. Oh yeah, we do it for over a year now. Really? Yeah, we do it because we started in the old office.
That means we've
been in this office for over a year.
The anniversary episode.
See, that's the issue if you don't count. I'm always putting the date there. Maybe I should have started with counting, putting in a hashtag number 1, number 2. That's what I thought with the Discord FAQ stuff. I put a number there so it can reference back. I saw that with the Lockpick Lawyer. If he has something, he sometimes referenced the number, which is super cool to find. Again, maybe that's an interesting tidbit. If you want me to do more Discord FAQ stuff, does not have to be Discord. I also react to YouTube comments. there have been less questions about stuff. I think it's a good-ish thing, but if you have questions, let me know, and I will do a quick video on them. Hunter says, I mean, Snap, it's pretty convenient. My Flatpak was broken one time and I had to so sadly use it. That was nice though. Slower a bit. I don't quite get that. The Flatpak was broken.
Yeah, so you have to use Snap, but it was nice
Snap.
but slower.
Snap is pretty convenient. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Don't like Snap either.
Yeah, I think like Ubuntu is pushing Snap really hard for server stuff.
Yeah.
Especially. So yeah, I felt the desktop use case is a bit of kind of a side thing for them. And Flatpak is kind of really focused on desktop. So yeah.
Yeah. Mike also says like he sees some interest in more privacy in the US, and I feel like yes, we see that as well, an increase again. I think 6 years ago, pre-pandemic, people were starting a lot in regards to privacy, and I think like with the whole like our privacy got so big on Reddit and stuff like that. I think like there was a moment where privacy was very top of mind. Similar, I guess, and maybe it got like exchanged for the whole like environmentalist stuff, and as we saw in Europe, environmentalist stuff people don't care about as much anymore, so maybe that's why an opportunity for people to come back to privacy again. Who knows? But it is like something I feel as well, that privacy comes back a little bit as a topic, which is cool for us, of course, as a privacy-focused company. But I feel like cool for the society as well. Like if people are just like, don't think about privacy, don't...
privacy is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's so important. And doesn't, like, me stop, kind of, if I stop to use WhatsApp, that can be cool, but all my other contacts probably just share my phone number and name with Facebook, so it really doesn't matter too much, but it's still, at least I still have WhatsApp installed because there are groups I need to use it for. That's just life, but I don't share my contacts, which is weird because I can receive messages and I can send them in chats, but I can't start messaging new people. Because that's kind of behind the contact wall, that you have to share your contacts in order to be able to message new people, which worked earlier versions for some reason. I don't know why. But
don't use WhatsApp. Have not touched it in years.
Great
at this point.
But yeah, there are some groups that I just need to be part of, and I can't get out of that. So
yeah,
well.
Johnny Chrono, just quickly, because you wrote, thanks guys, you're awesome. Thank you for the compliment. You're great too. And he asked if my question, he says he asking his question on Discord. You don't have to. Both chats are open. We see both. We read both. On Discord, they might, on YouTube, they're associated with the video. On Discord, they're more searchable afterwards as well. Like if we're looking for stuff that has been asked in the past, Discord is easier to search for and easier to find stuff. And of course, you can reference it easier. So if you feel like your question was not answered properly, you can then point to the question from the live stream in the general tab or something like that. And I see there somebody has wrote something in general. If you're watching and are not in the Saving Life sub thing for this video, which is also linked in the description below, we don't see it. We look at this sub channel, and again, it's linked in the description below. I hope I made it as easy as possible, but I understand that this setup might not be too common, but it's our community, we feel is on Discord. We have way more people on Discord than on YouTube, and so that's partly why we chose it to do it like that. Yeah, maybe in the future we'll do those Discord stage thingamajigs as well, but we want to have the videos as record on YouTube so that people can watch it later as well, because like tons of people are from the States, and like Mike, but for Mike I think it's very early in the morning.
Lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Yeah, so especially for people on the West Coast, it's super early in the morning, and I don't want to put that burden on anyone.
So yeah, Johnny, you
optimized. Yeah, we can see your chat, of course.
Yeah. So also, Johnny, you can ask your question now if you want to. We still got 10 minutes left, so go ahead.
15 minutes-ish, yeah.
Yeah. We have to close too, so.
We have to, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So, don't want to overestimate here. Yeah, but in the meanwhile, I heard that Raphael had a personal achievement last week, so I think that's something he has already shared publicly in a podcast. If you listen to the sensuous sounds of InfoSec. He's part of that podcast. He shared it there. So do you want to share what your personal achievement is?
Yeah,
you achieved last week.
I have been on that podcast. It's with Ben Meliso and Matt Snoddy, and the two of them are I don't know, veterans. Yeah, I think veterans is okay for in the InfoSec realm. And Ben actually teaches stuff for certificates and so on. And the two of them have been pushing me for years now to do an exam and get a certificate in the InfoSec realm, because of course, security is what is required for privacy. If you have no security, you're not actually private, because everybody everybody can get to your stuff. You don't tell anybody, but everybody can take it. That's not actually private. So, and they pushed me to get my CISSP exam, and last week. Yeah, last week. Yeah, we have Thursday. Yeah. Last week I did my CISSP. And on that episode I shared, I basically rushed into all of this. There are people who are studying months for this, but they told me, well, you're submerged in InfoSec on a daily basis. You probably can just do it. No, but almost. So
it is still very, very
It is broad. Yeah. I learned, if you're familiar with CISSP, you probably have a better understanding of how much I'm doing InfoSec in my daily work when I tell you I only studied 3 weeks for this. So, yeah. And passed on my first try. So, that's basically it. There have been a couple of questions coming in here. So, Hunter said it's almost 5 for him. And Mike says it's 9 o'clock for him. So, yeah, that's not too bad. 9 o'clock, I can get up. 5 is already fairly late, but yeah, it's an hour advance of us. Optimized asked, will release Portmaster for Android devices? We already sort of have. There's a beta version, very beta, which has not been updated in a while. We have not touched it in a while.
Yeah. So
we will continue this in the future.
Yeah, so it does work from what we hear from users. But it is a lot more a proof of concept. So it is possible, we can do it, but we need to kind of figure out the actual road to how we're going to do it. Because a lot of stuff we do in Portmesh on desktop will be really hard to impossible to do on mobile. Just because of screen sizes and performance. So we'll have to think about which kind of stuff to kind of cut down and kind of simplify. So we're still working on the concept here. But it is definitely on the roadmap somewhere after version 2. So I hope we can actually start working on it again this year, but that's just my hope. That's not a promise. So
we thought we were getting the sync feature in January.
well, yeah, but that as we explained in the version 2 live stream, that there are various reasons for why we had to switch big time. But that's definitely coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also asked, like, optimized, what other features are coming. Again, like, we're currently in a stabilization phase, so we're trying to improve Portmaster in general, make a couple of different things easier, like for people who want to contribute to Portmaster. We have been asked, I think, maybe on the Discord, I read somewhere somebody was asking how to compile this Portmaster, and it's not that easy at the moment, but we want to make it easier in the future. And so this is a lot of like part of what we're currently doing. So stabilizing, making stuff faster, making stuff lower on resources, especially the UI, and fixing things mostly. Other stuff is the sync feature, and we have so many ideas what we want to do. People who ask us for specific things, or like we're doing some feature request things on GitHub. Those are the things we're looking at when we want to gauge like what like should be the next thing. But yes, Android overall is a bigger project we want to continue as well. So that technically is not a new feature as well, but it would be a new platform. And we're interested in doing it again, like the beta. You asked how to try the beta version. It is linked on our wiki. I think the wiki is linked below. And if you go on installs, like the proper one, it's a little bit hidden. You can search for Android in the search bar on top. And currently it's mainly SPN. So you basically have to be a pro subscriber for it to be obvious.
So there are not yet any kind of firewall features in there.
Yeah.
It's
a proof of concept, and it works, and we wanted to have something for people who are paying us so that they don't have to have like a second thing for their mobile devices. So this is the reason why it's already here, and how it is structured.
Yeah.
Hunter says sync feature, Rust rewrite, and a new UI framework. That's huge. We're not rewriting everything in Rust. The kernel extension has been rewritten in Rust, and it is not. It's not. Again, it's not as feature rich as the first half of the second half of the year last year, where we pushed actually new features almost every month. Yeah. And we knew that this is on the cost, like some technical debt, and I think we talked about this in a couple of live streams. Technical debt was accumulated during that time. Now we're in a period of removing technical debt again.
Stabilizing.
Which is something we found just works for us, and has been in the past a similar cadence where we're like pushing, and then like going over it and sort of like smoothing all the rough edges. You already read stuff?
Nope.
Optimize says he's from India, currently studying BTech, not sure what BTech is for, with 3 years remaining in his degree. Interested in pursuing a career in cybersecurity. Oh, cool. If you're from India, your download probably was a little bit slower. We're sorry for that. Also, SPN in Asia, there are notes there. But it would be super interesting. If you are trying SPN, let us know how it is.
Yeah.
We are in contact with some people in the like Asian Pacific area, and it is different for people more to the global east than in like Europe or North America.
Yeah.
And also in different parts of North America, it is different from the performance perspective. SPN like knows how fast each connection is, so it should prioritize the correct connections. But feedback has been less from Asia than from Europe. We have tons more people from Europe who are writing us, and from like North America who are writing us, so we can optimize quicker, or could optimize quicker in the past, and have a better idea of how our network performs in those areas. But because of like all the feedback we're getting, feedback is super important. Please send us all the info.
Yeah. Really cool that you're getting into that. I think cybersecurity is definitely a growing field, and we're going to need a lot more people everywhere for it. So, great choice.
Super great. If you're going into cybersecurity after doing my CISSP now, I can strongly recommend going for it as well. Look into it. If you did not have my brother using SPN and it's working great, super cool. Yes, thank you for the feedback. That's also important, like for us to know. If it so if you're Optimized says he's in India, and he and his brother, I assume, is also there, has great experience with SPN. That's good for us to know, because we're getting like people typically write us when it's not working, and we have also again like people telling us stuff, and we have so many people in Europe telling us it works smoothly and they have no issues. Mike especially is one like, I'd like to tell you what's not working, but everything works. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that's just feedback we are looking into, and stuff we need to know. And thank you, Optimized, for the kind words, saying that like Portmaster changed the world. It's privacy is super important, and privacy in each application. Super cool. Thank you for the feedback.
To bring more privacy to the world. That's our vision. Great to see how you're feeling that. That's cool.
Super cool. Have ignored Hunter for a while.
I read Hunter stuff. So Hunter, the stuff we wrote in Rust wasn't Go. It was C code. So we didn't ditch any Go code. Thankfully, I love Go. Wouldn't want to ditch the Go code. We ditched C code for Rust. So kind of we're getting rid of unsafe languages, switching to safer languages. The kernel extension itself is just a very, very small component that actually gets loaded into Windows itself. So it has it's on the kernel level, and it has kind of the ultimate power there. And it's really, really small to make it more stable and everything. It communicates with the core service, which is written in Go. So it's really, really small. It just kind of sends the data we need for deciding what to do with the connection. Sends that to Portmaster core. There, all the logic works as magic, and then the core service sends the decision for a connection back to the kernel extension, to the driver, which then executes that. So it's more kind of a sensor and an execution thing. It's not actually doing filtering logic. All of that is in the core service.
Board Thriller said my only issue is that big corps blocking VPNs and SPNs. That is an issue. We have ideas on maybe like this is a grand vision, and I think we might have talked about this in one of the earlier episodes, and I don't want to get into it in the last 2 minutes. We have so many ideas in regards to tackling that particular
it's really
problem
hard
from the other side. It is hard
because there's a lot of reputation stuff, and kind of
people.
It's a kind of cat and mouse game all the time, and kind of how do we optimize for special services? Can we change the routing in the network for specific IPs, domains, all that stuff, kind of. So that's kind of a very, very complex and deep topic that we'd love to have more resources for, but at the moment don't. Definitely something that is on our roadmap to look into and kind of put a better focus on. And for now, kind of it works well enough, we feel. We have the further issues reported to us. There are workarounds how to do stuff, So that should work well enough. If you have issues, please go on Discord and kind of raise them there, then the community, and we can help you kind of find a solution for a specific website or service that is working for you. So
we have also ideas. We have ideas what Safing can do. We have ideas on how we can evolve SPN in certain regards to have it better. Okay, Vladimir answered, I guess, one of Hunter's questions in the Discord as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Vladimir is right. There is an actual transition from Go to Rust. I forgot about that other one. That's true. There's something else that kind of simplifies stuff with the UI stuff. I was just talking about the kernel stuff, but Vladimir right in the kind of UI direction. There's some stuff actually moving from Go to Rust.
Okay.
But that's a good transition. I'm always happy with that one. Yeah.
Other things.
I think a link is broken on the Wiki
description.
So
okay. We can look into this optimized. I wanted to ask what link is broken. The link in the description below is broken.
I think it's a Discord.
Oh, the /safing.io/Discord. Okay, yeah, we can look into this. It's just a redirect.
We'll
otherwise it's discord.gg/safing, I think is the link you can go for as well. But super interesting if that is broken. We'll look into it. Other than that, in the description right below, you can click on it and it should bring you to the correct channel, and that should work, definitely. But the safing.io/Discord we can look into as well. Okay then, I think we can wrap it up. Yeah. Thank you for all the optimized for engaging with us here as well. Hunter, thank you for being with us from the start. Also Mike joining in very early. And Board Thriller, thank you for asking questions. It is tons of fun with people just being here, talking with us. This is why we like this. We want to understand better what's going on. Today I learned SPN works beautifully in India, at least in some parts. So we need to sort of look into it. If it's not working for you, and if you're watching and if you're from India, let us also know. It is sometimes local. We learned over the years how different the internet works in different parts of the world, different parts of Europe, different parts of how close
it can
to
be
the
even
coast.
different per provider because they have different routes and everything. So the internet is super complex. We just don't it feels like magic, but it's actually super, super complex, fragile to some extent, and weird, of course, too. But it is something that kind of feels like magic, especially if you're in Europe or US where everything's fast. It is complex, and it can things can just turn out really weird. Also, so it's a interesting thing to be aware of and kind of try to work around that as well as we can. That's the reason why all SPN nodes measure latency and bandwidth between nodes, so they actually know what's going on and they can actually select better routes, which also means that the SPN can theoretically find a better route than the internet itself because it has more data on the network. Of course, theoretically, because we would need more nodes for that to actually, it could work out in very rare cases, but mostly won't be the case. Just don't get your hopes up that SPN will make return faster. Probably not. Just to make that clear to you here. But it's very interesting when thinking about internet structure and kind of how we can influence that and kind of work around stuff that others can't, for example.
For the future.
Yeah, so
the future. It is. Thank you all for the kind words. Thank you for supporting us for so long already. We have been with this for quite some time. It is a great job to have developing privacy software and pushing the envelope for this. Thank you all. If you have questions for the next live stream or the things that are now coming in, we're wrapping up already. I'm sorry that I can't get to everything. We will look at them and either come join us in 2 weeks for the next live stream and ask them again, and we will pick up on them, or ask them on a Discord and maybe we'll just chat about the stuff in the meantime. I wish you all a very beautiful day.
Yeah. Or evening. Morning.
Exactly. Have a great one.
See you then.
See you then.